Do you use neopronouns? Neopronouns are alternatives to gendered pronouns like he, she, and more common gender-neutral pronouns like they, them. They include words like thon, which came from the one, v, z, fey, and many others. Mostly they've been attributed to Tumblr-era internet users and often not taken seriously, but they're actually way older than this. For example, in 1920, Scottish writer David Lindsay used the pronoun a for a third-gender alien species in his book A Voyage to Arcturus. What did come out of the mid-2000s Tumblr era, though, were the type of neopronouns called noun-self pronouns, where people would elect a word or noun they felt resonated with them and their gender and use it as their pronouns. Kitty, kitty self, bun, bun self, frog, frog self, rose, rose self are all examples. Neopronouns fell out of use after Tumblr, but recently they've become more popular than ever. Even emojis have been used as neopronouns. Remember that languages change over time and adapt with use. And so much language has already been pioneered by the LGBTQ+ community. Neopronouns are just the next addition in the Rainbow Dictionary.
Yeah, I think the pronouns are really confusing.
Yes, I don't even know what a pronoun is.
So that young fella, I think, we just heard from in the first clip, said that neopronouns weren't taken seriously when they first came out on Tumblr. And, well, there's a very good reason for that. And I hate to break it to you, young person, but they're still not. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a fairly quick and very crazy Clown World update for you guys today. And as usual, we have, well, very little time to waste. So let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this is Vicky. Now, Vicky is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a transbian or trans lesbian. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, those look like mugshot photos, well, you'd be right. Vicky was recently arrested for, say, trying to take a child that didn't belong to him. And the scary thing about this is, depending on what state or jurisdiction this happened in, Vicky could do his time in a woman's prison. How does that make sense?
Who the f*** do you think you are, you crazy little shit?
All right, let's keep it moving with this fella, Stuart, who thinks that people voting for Donald Trump are low information and lowly educated. I guarantee Stuart gets all his news from CNN and MSNBC. The comment says, Stuart, please help me to understand why so many Americans believe in this man. Roll it.
Why do so many Americans believe Donald Trump? I'm going to take a stab at that. Now imagine that you're a low information, lowly educated person who has all kinds of these ideas that have been fed to you from right-wing radio, that have been fed to you from Fox News and the right-wing social media sphere, all full of all kinds of misinformation. And a billionaire comes along, and he watches the same TV shows you watch, reads the same stuff you read online, listens to the same AM radio, and he believes it just like you do. Your views are being validated by a billionaire. They must be correct. That's the allure of Donald Trump. He validates people's false fears and all their anger that's been ginned up by the right-wing media. And he does something else that's critical, that makes them feel good. He will back down if his followers feel differently than he does. Like with the COVID vaccine, which he was pushing, they didn't want it. He said, okay, you don't want it. I don't really want it either. And that backing down that he does makes his followers feel good. Well, if he backs down, well, then we really must be right. The bottom line is, I think people believe Donald Trump because he shares their fear and anger. And I know people who don't follow him don't believe this, but he's also an excellent actor.
You're a fucking idiot.
And next up, we have this lovely lady who says she's tired of being afraid to express her political opinions. Now, mind you, she is voting for Carmelo Harris. And it seems to me that it's always the people who wear MAGA hats and support Donald Trump that are getting harassed and attacked. Everything this lady says is the exact opposite of reality. Roll it.
The post office, and it actually hurts my heart I went in, dropped off what I needed to, and on the way out, a very, very sweet gentleman that was black opened the door and he said, I like that Harris t-shirt. And he said, do you like my pen? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And I was able to finally talk. And some other ladies stopped and we were all talking together. And I realized what I miss the most is community. And being able to talk to somebody without them bringing up Trump and telling you how bad you are for voting for Kamala because she's worthless. And I'm tired of it. All these years I have to keep my beliefs silent. Unless I want to get in a fight. And I'm tired of it. You know, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do if Trump wins. Everybody has to vote. We cannot let that bastard in. Because he will never leave. But please go out and vote. We need Kamala. We need community again. We need to be able to talk with like-minded people and not worry that we might have our car vandalized or even possibly something worse. So that's my thoughts for today.
You lying ass bitch.
Sorry, lady, I'm just not buying it. I see video after video after video of these Democrats stealing Trump signs from people's yards, seeing cars that have Trump bumper stickers on them, and yelling at people for wearing MAGA hats. I rarely, if ever, see that kind of behavior from the other side. Anyway, next up we have this young lad who drops a serious truth bomb right on CNN. Roll it.
What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear the name Kamala Harris?
Liar.
It's funny because it's true.
Well, we've heard these people mention ace or aerosexual here on the channel before. Still have no idea what they mean, but we've heard them mentioned before. Well, today we're going to hear a brand new one. Fictosexual. Roll it.
If you are solely attracted to fictional characters, not real people, that's pretty ace, pretty arrow. Yeah, you should check out a micro label called Fictosexual or Fictoromantic. I did make a video about it one time. That was a little bit controversial, but bringing it up again because it's a real thing. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. It's valid.
Are you fucking crazy? Huh?
Now, we've been seeing an interesting phenomenon here on the channel lately of these people claiming to get euphoria by confusing others as to whether they're a man or a woman. Roll it.
I find it quite funny when cis people see me and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry if this offends you, but like, I just can't tell if you're a boy or a girl. Like, no, baby, that doesn't offend me. That's by design. It's not offensive, it's on purpose. I dress and express myself with a specific intent of confusing cis people. And it works. And it feeds my ego and it gives me gender euphoria. Thank you, have a nice day.
Get a haircut, hippie.
And next up, we have our old pal Josh Seiter or Seiter. I'm not quite for sure exactly how to pronounce his last name, but Josh gained notoriety as a contestant on The Bachelorette several years ago, and recently he's been going through a very public transition. Now, my opinion is Josh is just trolling everyone to expose the insanity of this whole thing, but still good for a laugh. Roll it.
Hey everyone, I'm so sorry. I'm really struggling right now. You guys know that I'm attracted to women and that's usually who I date. And what I didn't expect with this transition is now that I'm a woman, that means I'm gay. And I'm a lesbian. This is not what I planned on when I transitioned. I don't know how to process.
I suggest you stop whining like a little bitch.
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a Shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen now. Unfortunately, this lovely lady is lip syncing to a copyrighted song, so we will have to enjoy the visual without the audio. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our first sponsor is none other than Pastor Bob Rogers. Pastor Bob, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, sir. I really appreciate the support. And the second sponsor of today's video is the Etsy store Red Clover Fields. Now, many of you know that is my wife's Etsy store. She's got some fantastic stuff on her website, stuff I use every day, and I swear by it. So if you're looking to take control of your health and maybe get away from some big pharma products, definitely go peruse her store. I will put a link to that in the description box below. And also, I want to give a big shout out to today's honorable mention, Pastor Bob Rogers, for leaving a super thanks on the last video. So, Pastor Bob, again, sir, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. So once again, today's video sponsors are Pastor Bob Rogers in the Etsy store Red Clover Fields, with the honorable mention going to Pastor Bob Rogers. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, we've seen enough of this lady for one day. Get this off the screen, please. Oof. All right, next up we have this lady who says she is tired of the discomfort that comes from being around white people in America, and she's ready to be somewhere else. She does know there's a giant continent right under Europe that would welcome her with open arms, right? Roll it.
I just came back from the grocery store and running a couple errands, and I just want to say I am tired of the discomfort that comes from being around white people in this American environment. I'm tired of it. And I'm ready to be somewhere else.
That's just self-centered and racist. You need to shut the f*** up.
Hey, where are the white women at?
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of a recent interview that Carmelo Harris did with MSNBC, and it would appear that somebody told her that her work to use to fool the American people is holistically. You'll see what I mean in just 1 minute. Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
And assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars. And looking holistically at the connection between that and housing. And looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner. That includes prioritizing affordable housing.
I don't know what the f*** you're talking about.
And you ain't black.